macroevolution.
There, it's
Microevolution.
You said evolution. Yeah, no, that's
All
good.
we're saying
Good,
is,
keep going.
all we're saying is, because it's still a frog. It's not a lizard. It's not a toad. It's not a fish. It's a frog. And so this is speciation within a species. But you've got what? Species, order, family. I'm forgetting one, but then you got what?
It's not really right, but I'm not sure it really matters right now.
Well, it does matter because we would say microevolution. There can be variety happen at the species level. But we'd say probably when the Bible says all reproduce after its own kind, in other words, the frog is a frog.
He's delivering a good
This frog on that island and that frog on that island, they're still frogs.
And they change over time?
Yeah.
Over a short time or a long time?
They change. Well, that's it. But we don't know that.
But if your lifespan was for 500 years, you could see that. You just can't.
Well, no. If it was, you might. If it was and it happened, but we don't know that it happens.
But theory in science is that there's enough evidence. We just haven't seen it for ourselves because we're not alive for 500 years.
But I think that's a great point. Aren't you acknowledging all the evolution?
By the way, you know what?
Theory is fairly
I do.
Not enough evidence given to make it a whole.
You do have a point.
They test it like again and again, and they get real
You have a point.
but it hasn't been, a lot of
Now, as a Christian, I believe with God all things are possible.
theory is more proven than people think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Many of the arguments I hear related to evolution seem to be saying to me, given enough time, all things are possible.
Nope.
That the
that's not
omnipotent
it at
here
all.
is, with time, it can happen. Now, we haven't seen it, but we hypothesize that given a longer period of time than any of us will ever be alive, that it could happen.
But microevolution is evolution on a small scale. It's within how much time we can see.
And so you believe in all the evolution we can see, right?
Within, the next 50 years, it will probably turn into macroevolution. Like right now, it's only micro because we only have a short.
No, trust me, it's not going to be within the next 50 years.
Well, the next 500 years or something. I don't know.
Trust me, it's not going to. Trust me, you need to have millions of years.
I have one last question.
You need to have millions of years for this to work. By the way, that's why you do experiments with fruit flies, E. coli stuff.
I have one
Stuff like
last
that,
one,
you'll
and
get the
it's
macro.
pretty important. What would it take? What amount of evidence would it take for you to switch from creationism to evolution? What would it have to take for you to change your opinion?
Yeah. Well, from an observational point of view,
Sure.
okay, I think we'd need to see a bunch of like intermediary species or intermediary.
Coelacanth, Archaeopteryx. Coelacanth, Archaeopteryx. Have you seen them?
Well, I've seen the
That's a good one,
Archaeopteryx.
Archaeopteryx, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's not a good one. It's called a hybrid. Archaeopteryx is a hybrid.
No.
What?
Not an
respectful.
intermediary form.
What about coelacanth?
So I think if we saw multiple intermediary, and you know what? I would kind of think we'd see them on Earth right now.
We do. Coelacanth still is here. You can go in the ocean and find it.
Instead
Coelacanth is
of
here.
seeing these ones from
Coelacanth is a fish with
ancient
hands.
times, like with the Archaeopteryx,
It's a
we
fish
don't
with
know where it
hands.
came from. We don't know what it went to. I think we'd see tons of them. I think we'd see all kinds of living organisms now that are developing mutations and I mean significant things. Not just like they just don't give them to me.
Something like a platypus?
I think those would be some things I'd look for.
Okay.
I think that is something
They
I would
raise
look
eggs.
for.
Is that what you mean?
Obviously,
It's like right in the middle.
we believe living organisms reproduce after their own kind. And I need to be seeing more evidence that that's not happening.
That's a good one.
Okay.
How do you explain carbon dating when literally